Hello, everybody. Welcome, one, welcome all, and welcome back to the Believe in Iowa State podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Carter, and just letting you know, programming alert: these podcasts, at least the next two or three episodes, will be solo shows. Since Cody right now is waiting in line as a sicker he is for the Cyhawk men's game. So we will be getting into that later in the show, and also next week is finals week for Cody. So you look forward to just seeing uh, me. So it'll just be me. We have a lot to break down today, so let's get into that. So the first thing I want to talk about was the reaction to Coach Rogers' press conference. Luckily, I had work off on Monday, so I watched the entire thing, and I will say he definitely hooks me in, and just the whole RBF thing of his demeanor and how his face naturally is. It's like, well, my son is like that too. That sort of really made me laugh. And one of the other things that really stood out to me in this press conference was going down to a four-man front. I know this is something that me and Cody have been talking about on the show a lot with some of the defensive struggles this past season, but to be in a four-man front and them say and Coach Rogers saying that they're going to be multiple on defense really gets me excited about um, the potential of what this defense could be. So I definitely say overall I would say it's definitely a positive outlook um, on Coach Rogers. Really excited to see what he brings for this new chapter of Iowa State football. So we're going to talk about the formation of this coaching staff because Coach Rogers has made some really good hires. Um, we have the first guy I'm going to talk about is Jesse Bobbitt. Jesse Bobbitt was with Coach in Pullman with Washington State. He will be coaching the team in a bowl game as the interim head coach, and he will be coming over to Ames as soon as Washington State's finished with the bowl game. Ross Watson, who was Ross Watson, who was on the Toledo staff, is coming over from Toledo, and they are both going to be co-defensive coordinators. As Ross Watson was a very coveted guy, but Iowa State was able to secure him. Um, and just to go back to Matt Campbell for a second, all this stuff is wound up. All the connections are actually crazy because Ross Watson also played D3 at Mount Union, the same school that Matt Campbell played football at. So you see all these different connections with Coach Rogers too. And then we also are going to go into the coaching staff as it is, and also the leftovers from the Campbell staff. But more in the Watch Russian. You look at Toledo's defense this past year, and they were basically a top 10 in almost every single category. So I think defensively on the side of the ball, I think what whoever we're able to retain on that side of the ball, I think is going to be really. I think it's also going to be a great thing for this Iowa State defense to be hitting the ground running and being rough and tough. Um, so Routes Watson and Jesse Bopper will be co-defensive coordinators, and then also that was I believe this was reported on Monday. Tyler Roll, who was the tight ends coach and also the running backs coach in 2024, he will be coming back to Iowa State as the running backs coach. He was a tight ends coach this year for the Detroit Lions, but he believed that this was a position not being able to pass up, or not running backs coach. Geez, offensive coordinator. Golly. So Tyler Rowe will be the offensive coordinator, and he also was the offensive coordinator on the national championship winning North Dakota State teams. So I think this offense is definitely going to be a run heavy offense with probably a mixture of some play action passes as well as seeing a lot of quarterback runs. depending on what can be retained. But we're also gonna I'm gonna share my screen and we're gonna go to the Iowa State athletics page to see and basically give my thoughts on the leftovers from the Campbell stuff to see if they could possibly be retained. Because from what I see on this coaching staff page, I think some of these guys can be retained. So give me a minute as we go there. All right. All right. So as you can see, we go down to the coaching staff. Obviously, John Haycock was still here. It was reported, I believe, by a Penn State page that he was going to Penn State. Now, I don't know if that is still going to happen. I don't know if he's going to retire or if he's just going to, stay here or maybe go to Penn State as an analyst role. That hasn't been set in stone yet. So John Haycock at least is helping the players that are still here now, able to um, transition into with the new coaching staff. So you see, one of the guys that I find interesting is running back coach Jake Landry. Jake Landry, I think, has a possible connection uh, to running backs coach. So he was a 20 he and then the 2024 season, you see that he was a running backs coach and offensive coordinator for North Dakota State. So that North Dakota State connection with Tyler Roll, I think to me is very very interesting. You see what the damage that he did with North Dakota State as the running backs coach and offensive coordinator. Third in scoring offense, 38.1 points per game, first nationally in first downs, and team passing efficiency and fewest turnovers. Also top 20 in third down conversion percentage, red zone offense, time of possession, and fourth down conversion. So I think he's definitely going to have as a running backs coach. I think he could be a very very good tool. Um, Definitely with the type of roster that we're going to have with Tyler Roll. So as we go back, we're going to get logo and more. There's a few guys I just want to point out. Oh, I went too far back. There we go. Oh, geez, sorry guys. All right. So as we go down, Colby Crash is still here. It is still unsure if he's still going to be retained or if he's going to be going to a Happy Valley with Coach Campbell. Hank Poteet's still here. Eli Rashid is also still here. Is also unsure of what his plans are going to be, but I do not think he is going to be going to State College with Coach Campbell. Jake Waters is the one to me that is going to be interesting. Obviously, he's from the state of Iowa, but he also played for 4 years at K State. So I'm wondering. Part of me, this is all speculation. I don't know anything. Part of me wonders if we're able to retain him, that'd be great. But part of me wonders if he's going to be a part of Coach Klein's staff down in Manhattan. So that's something that we're definitely gonna have to keep an eye on. First, that's for sure. So we're at least the coaching staff is still coming into form. We'll probably know more in the next few weeks on how this coaching staff comes to be. But another thing that I did want to talk about though uh, was player retention. I think obviously that's one thing that everybody is wondering. That's but the burning question in Cycle Nation is what players are we going to retain? I think it really depends on what I guess like there were some good signs yesterday. If you were able to watch the Iowa State women's basketball game, Ben Bramer, Caleb Bacon, and Rocco Becht were were seen at the basketball game, and Rocco was able to give the ladies a pep talk right before the game. So at least to me, I think that's a good sign. And also, if you really look at the Tyler Roll hire, I do think that is a good hire if you, especially for the offensive side of the football. You look at you look at that hire, and you look at the running back room with Abu Sama and Carson Hansen, and he coached both of them in 2024. Um, so based on the fact that the Tyler Roy hire happens, I really do think that there could be a good chance that we could retain both of them. And you also look at the tight end room. I know that Ben Bramer and Gabe Burkle are probably going to be highly coveted. And also just the rest of that tight end room has a lot of talent. So it's going to be interesting to see what they decide to do. But I think them being there and showing support to the basketball team has to be a um, good sign. Once again, I don't really know a lot. So Ben, and then also just with Tyler Rowe being a tight ends coach in the NFL, I think that would also be good just for Bramer and Burkle. So and get insight from him on what it takes to be a tight end in the NFL, especially since they both have NFL aspirations. So that's just something that to me I think is going to be really um, interesting to an interesting thing to look at. I believe um, now that there is I think a 15-day window now until for the players after a new coaching hire, and it's 5 days right after where the players can get into the portal, and then 15 days I think for them to find a spot, which is now goes up to January, I believe January 2nd. So we still have a while until the players can make decisions, and January 2nd is when officially the portal opens for everybody. So we'll have to see. We really won't know probably for like a month or two on who's coming back and who we get, because I think just if you look at the co-defensive coordinator hires, you look at some of the Washington State players and South Dakota State players that entered the portal. I really do think that, especially on the defensive side of the football, those players are probably going to be at coming to Ames. So we would definitely have that for you and try to keep track of that. Also, a very good tracker to look at the transfer portal. If you guys go to Iowa State's 24/7 page, they do have a transfer portal tracker to where you can track all the the incoming arrivals and departures from the team. At least recruiting wise, we did the 2026 class. There has been a few departures from the 2026 class. I just wanted to share that with you guys real quick. I'm gonna share my screen just to let you guys know what the class of 2026 team 2026 decommits look like. Here it is right here. Now, obviously, there were all these other ones that were um, announced earlier in the year, but currently here are the football decommits. We start off with a Marion Jackson, who was from Millard South, who also was the wide receiver for Jitamala, who committed to Alabama. We have Bryce Wessel from Jackson, Missouri. Jaquez Felix, Caprice, who ended up decommitting and going to K State. Bryson Williams, Owen Winder, Pete Iglitis, and Cash Brock, who is um, Howley's brother, the CEO, is his brother. He decommitted as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what this coaching staff is able to retain. Um, so I wanna look at the commits. So so right now, at least Caleb Francois Jeffrey Roberts, Elijah Reader, Tyrell Chapman, Keon Kaiser, uh, Ajibola Afuye, and Tatum Duncan, Mason Bandauer, Daniel Howard. I wonder. I really, really do hope that those, at least a lot of this class is retained. Um, I do think that it's really all up to see what this coaching staff is able to retain and see if there's something can be of this class. Obviously, we're probably going to see a lot of movement in the transfer portal. Just thought I'd give you guys an update on the recruiting on the recruiting. But right now with that we're gonna go into Cyhawk basketball talk and talk about the women's game from yesterday. Iowa State wins 74-69 in a back and forth game. It just seems like every time Iowa State got a lead, Iowa was right there and was able to battle back. And at the end, Iowa State was able to pull away and be victorious. Audi Crux was the leading scorer with 30 points and 10 boards. This is the first time, I believe, since 2023. I believe that no 2022 since Iowa State got a win in this game. They were on a two-game losing skid to the Hawkeyes. So very very big one for them as at least just national wise, this is a very good win for Iowa State going forward, especially having a quad one win. So I I am very very excited to see the direction of this women's team and how far they go, and hey, maybe they could possibly host a regional or host a game in the NCAA tournament. We will have to see, but Iowa State is a force to be reckoned with in the Big 12 this year. All right, we're gonna go and take a look at the men's game today, and do a brief breakdown. One second. We're gonna go and look at this Iowa State. All right. So right now, according to DraftKings, Iowa State is an 11.5 point favorite at home against the Iowa Hawkeyes. We're gonna go and break this down. All right. So you see, Iowa State offensively has just been hot, averaging 95 points a game. Iowa is averaging 79 points a game and giving up 62 points per game. So both defenses are very, very solid. Um, I think the key, I think what I'm looking for in this game is I, um, the key for Iowa State in this game, I think, is to not get your bigs into foul trouble because there is a weakness in Iowa's big men. They're good big men, but they're not. I don't know if they're at to the level of a Joshua Jefferson and Blake Buchanan level. I believe that a lot of the players are still um, maybe group of five or mid major big men, where I think that's an advantage where Iowa State can have inside. So look for Blake Buchanan and Joshua Jefferson to have very very good games tonight. I do think uh, another thing another player to watch is Bennett Sturts. Bennett Sturts is one of the best point guards in the nation. So not letting him dictate the game to where if he goes off, look out. But it limiting him and really forcing all the other guys to on the team to contribute. Um, and then another thing for Iowa State, can Milan Momcilovic continue his hot streak? He's averaging 18.3 points per game, 54% from the field, and and a stellar 86% at the free throw line. So getting Milan going he's just like from what we've gotten from Otts this off season, saying that he's hunting shots. We have seen it. You saw him on his full game. He likes to just that little Dirk step back that he does, and then also just you see him attacking the basket, whether that be from three. Um, Ott said that he wants him hunting threes. We saw that. Um, we see him being able his mid range game and then his post game being able to go inside. And I do think the X factor in this game I think is going to be Dom Nelson. If we can get Dom Nelson going and him being able to drive the basket and get coming off the bench and having maybe like 8 9 points coming off the bench, I think that could be the difference. I also think defensively, if we can get the Sturge and we can frustrate them. Because if one thing I saw after the Iowa Michigan State game, one thing is that with those type of defenses, Iowa has trouble with them, and that's why they and Michigan State was ended up pulling away from them at Breslin. And this is going to be a raucous atmosphere, especially with Coach Rogers being introduced before the game. So it's going to be a raucous atmosphere. Sort of so jealous that I can't come or I can't go to this game since I live in Illinois. But whoever is going, just cheer loud for me. Get it, and get it, and let's get that dub. But yeah, I think um, and we'll just go to predictions right now. I think Iowa State is going to win this game. I think they pull away. I think they're gonna score over 90 again. I think they're gonna win like 90 to I'll say 90 to 74. So they easily cover, and I think they get a pretty convincing win over the Hawkeyes as they prepare and get ready for conference play. So one thing I do want to end with is that like I just want to say is just that like man we have been through a lot as a fan base, and just the fact that even Taman Lipsy said it that he said it himself that he like they knew that the basketball team needed to step up because everybody was in the doldrums on Saturday and this past weekend, and that Purdue win is you know such a great win in an elite basketball atmosphere such as Mackey, and just made it sound like a library. So, I mean, big ups to the basketball team, and this really just with each win, Iowa State just has a chance to be a very fun winter in Hilton. All right, guys, I just wanted to come on today, do an afternoon episode. Obviously, with Cody not being here, these are going to be a lot shorter episodes. But I just wanted to come on with you guys and give you my thoughts on the possible moves that we could see and my thoughts um, on the Coach Rogers press conference. So, with that, we are going to end today's show. A few people who I want to thank. I want to give a big thank you to FanDuel. FanDuel has been a really good sponsor for us. Make sure if you want to put your bets in, go and make an account on FanDuel. FanDuel has tons of different tokens that can get you your money back and different parlay boosts. So if you know ball, go and make money with FanDuel. If you ever want to talk ball, talk to me on Twitter. Find me at SciTie Guy. I'm always down to talk, whatever. Or if you ever see me anywhere, say hi. I'm very friendly. Also, if you want to catch up with Cody, or if you see Cody today at the basketball game, tell him hi and tell him that you listen to the podcast. So, yeah. Obviously, Cody, you know him as Matt Campbell-Burn. Obviously, he's turned into a Tierney Jackson, who is a volleyball player. So he is a volleyball burner now. So, but if you see Cody in person, tell him that you said what's up and tell him that you listen to the podcast. Also, uh, we were nominated by FeedSpot um, as a top 10. It says top 15 here, but top 10 sports podcasts in the state of Iowa and a top 40 most listened to podcasts in the state of Iowa. So thank you, state of Iowa listeners. Thank you, everybody who has supported me and Cody along the way. We will continue to give you guys quality Iowa State content. Also, if you are new or you just recently followed the page on Twitter, we are also available on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. YouTube and TikTok specifically are blowing up with our YouTube shorts and just TikToks getting a lot of engagement on both of those. So thank you guys for support. I try to um, respond if anybody leaves comments on those as quick as I can. Um, and also, if you are a person that likes to go on Twitch, we're on Twitch also at Believe in ISU 2025. I will post our full episodes there. Right now, we're live streaming on Twitch. So whoever is watching on Twitch, hello. And we live stream also through Twitter and Facebook as well. So if you are not on here, thank you also who are watching on Facebook and also on Twitch. We love all of our supporters and would love to get a chance to meet all of you. But with that, we are going to close today's show. So for Tyler Carter, this is the Believe in Iowa State podcast. Roll clones, baby.